Hi, I'm Dave Dinkle, and today's deal talk is about real-life examples of doing deals with no money, no credit, and no risk. Net profit on the two deals that we're going to show today are $17,144.24 and $35,268.17. There's a couple of very specific and interesting things that happened in these deals, so I want you to listen carefully. In the first property we're going to look at, the A to B closing agent was different than the B to C closing agent, which happens very often in short sales and REOs. So here's the HUD, top half again of the A to B, first leg of the HUD. The student paid $100,000 for the property. By the way, this is a duplex, as you'll be able to see in the upcoming bottom half of the HUD. So here's the bottom half of the HUD. Here's the things you know. $93,074.23 needed to close. Student did not have money to do it, so I funded as a transactional funding. This was the proceeds to the seller. It's not important. They got $90,000 after their closing cost. What is important here is the seller had to give a credit to the buyer, who was the student, for various things, including the rent and the security deposits. Now in this case, which is unusual, the student actually put up a $5,000 earnest money deposit. Why? Because the listing agent talked to the seller and said he's not serious if he doesn't put up at least $5,000. So the student had to put up $5,000 in this case. Now here's the top half of the B to C, second leg of the HUD. This is the money shot, so to speak. First thing we see is he sold it for $119,000. We're not going to go into closing costs on these. It's not important. If there was something significant over there, I'd show you the B to C. Page 2 of the HUD. Okay, now here's the bottom of the HUD. Let's look what's important. It shows a $22,144.24 profit. However, the student had a $5,000 earnest money deposit up, so his net profit was $22,000 minus the $5,000, or $17,144.24. Don't be misled by this number, because it takes into account you're getting back your own money from the A to B leg from the earnest money deposit. There's a transactional funding, so the student had $5,000 as an earnest money deposit in, otherwise would not have had any money in the game. What's important here again, the end buyer put up $9,000. So in the event he didn't close and we lost the $5,000 on the A to B leg, if we couldn't find another buyer and couldn't close, we would have netted $4,000 on the transaction without ever closing. There's the happy guys. Property number 2, this is the A to B top half of the first leg of the HUD, $395,500. And right off the bat, if you're thinking to yourself, I don't have that kind of money, you're going to see this is no money in the deal. Here's the bottom half of the HUD. $366,704.12 funding was needed for the transaction. No earnest money deposit, and the seller received a net of $260,000 going out. That was his proceeds. Here is what's really, really important in this specific transaction. $30,000 credit on the HUD. See what it says here? Repair credit. Now this is a huge benefit to the listing agent because he still gets a commission on the $30,000. Otherwise, if we'd taken a price reduction, he would not have gotten the commission credit. So here we are. This is the second leg, top half of the B to C transaction. He sold it for $410,000. Normally you'd think to yourself, well, he bought it for $395,000, sold it for $410,000, made $15,000. But remember the repair credit. So this is the bottom half of the HUD. Here's the transactional funding. Student had no money whatsoever in the deal. Here's the net profit, $35,268.17. He had no earnest money deposit up, so that's a net profit on this deal. He had it one day, I'm going to say an hour and a half or 2 hours, and he had no money in the deal. There's the $20,000 earnest money deposit from the end buyer. So we would have gotten that $20,000, and whatever our promise was on the original contract from the A to B leg, if we had lost that deposit, we still would have made money on the transaction. So the question always comes up, why not you? There is no reason. Check out our mentoring program at www.davedinkle.com. I'm Dave Dinkle, and I wish you limitless success in all that you do.